Greta crouched in the stinking back alley outside the spaceport of Homenest's capital city because her father once went bungee jumping on Earth. She had wanted to do something for her 21st birthday, and her father always bragged about that bungee jump over a dam in somewhere called Switzerland. The dam, it turned out, had been destroyed in the Civil War over a decade earlier, so that hadn't been an option. She had looked at the other alternatives, and while she fancied doing something extreme, if she was being entirely honest with herself, jumping from a great height was not one of them. Shame, as orbital skydiving was available on most worlds in the United Terran Colonies. UTC would have removed her father's bragging rights for good. Instead, she had stumbled upon the concept of extreme tourism and Ryan White's tours to Homenest, the capital world of the Koru. Greta was fascinated by the still mysterious Koru and excited to get a closer look where they lived, yet had been underwhelmed by the tour itself. She suspected the Koru government interior ministry had done most of the organisation for the trip. Ryan, their human tour guide, had long blonde hair down below his shoulders and a tufty, unkempt beard. He seemed like the type who ran trips others organised, with his cool kid buzzword phrases. It was obvious, at least to Greta, that a lot of the sites they had been shown were set up for them, maybe even purpose-built for tour groups such as themselves. The whole thing had a sense of choreography about it. Like everyone had been waiting for them to arrive. If there was a genuine Homenest experience, the kind you only find off the beaten track and away from the tourist traps, this tour had not been it. It wasn't that she hadn't enjoyed herself, only that she had imagined something different. The initial disappointment had kind of melted into acceptance and determination to make the best of it. Until 2 days ago, they hadn't been able to get any precise reports of what was going on, only that there had been some kind of military conflict in the McMurdo Rift. There had been a few incidents with the Koru in the Rift over the last few months, which is part of what made this extreme tourism, Greta supposed, but relationships between the UTC and the Koru had been on the frosty side for years. That was just the status quo. And no one had been expecting genuine conflict. This morning, Ryan had decided to cut the trip short, and Greta and the other 3 tourists agreed. They had headed to the spaceport so that Ryan could get an appointment with the representative from the shipping firm providing their travel. Whilst the other members of the group had waited nearby, Greta had gone with Ryan so that she could go for a final wander around the streets with no minders and nothing set up for them, stopping across the street while their tour leader headed into the spaceport to secure their flights. With no regular liners between Homenest and Proxima, the tour was privately chartered. Ryan hadn't thought it would be very difficult to move their departure up by a few days. The spaceport guards, with their guns pointed at him, suggested otherwise.